up, guys? So, continuing my Venice Film Festival coverage, today's movie I'm going to be discussing is the latest film from Mexican filmmaker Alejandro G. Iñárritu, Bardo, or False Chronicles of a Handful of Truths. It's a very mouthy title. If you guys want to stay up to date with all my Venice and Toronto coverage, be sure to click that subscribe button. And if you want to stay up to date with all my thoughts, opinions, and reactions, be sure to follow me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all those links in that video description down below. Anyway, back to Bardo. A lot of people, myself included, were kind of prematurely labeling Bardo as Iñárritu's Roma. That's because we didn't have a whole lot of information about this film. We didn't have any stills or a trailer. We just had a very vague synopsis on IMDb, but we knew that this was going to be a very personal project for Iñárritu. He was going back to Mexico to film it. It was going to be semi-autobiographical, partly based on his own experiences, so there was going to be a lot of his heart and soul in it. And it was a passion project that was funded by Netflix and got its start at the Venice Film Festival. So the comparisons to Roma made sense at the time, but now that I've seen Bardo, they're very generalized similarities of the two amigos' projects. Roma was a nostalgic look at Alfonso Cuarón's past. It was very tender and raw, whereas Iñárritu's Bardo ruminates on his life and how far he's come. But it's also more fantastical, imaginative, and darkly humorous, so they're very different films. Really, it's Federico Fellini's 8.5 which draws the most similar comparisons. Bardo is a 3-hour-long odyssey following a man called Silverio Gama, who's played by Daniel Giménez Cacho, who bears an uncanny resemblance to Iñárritu himself, what with his long wavy hair and his love of suits. Iñárritu's substitute for himself spends the majority of this film bouncing from one dream or vacant memory to another. And he reflects on a number of things: family, nationality, ego, success, aging, death, immigration, identity, and home. There's a lot going on here on this sprawling canvas of a film. Some good, some bad, some stuff that's just kind of in the middle. Personally, I thought it was too long, too self-indulgent, and too preachy. The best thing about Bardo is that it really showcases Iñárritu's prowess as a filmmaker, because his direction in this is sublime. He does a wonderful job of crafting a wistful, dreamlike atmosphere. There's neat little tricks that he employs which make it feel very dreamlike. Like, some characters will have conversations with each other, but their mouths aren't moving. There's a wonderful fusion of production design and visual effects when different settings kind of bleed into each other. Like, you've got Gama's bedroom, which cascades into the desert of Mexico, and there's like sand all over his bedroom. And there's plenty of totally odd occurrences which take place in this film, but all the extras just act like it's just a typical Tuesday. Nobody's reacting to all the weird stuff that's occurring. There's a noticeable lack of humanity in the extras. And his scene-to-scene transitions are very inventive. Like, a quiet street turns into a bustling one with a beautiful trucking shot. I also appreciate that he shot a lot of this practically. He actually shot an action sequence to replicate the Nero's brothers' attack at the Chapultepec Castle in Mexico City at the actual castle. I just went to Mexico in January and I knew I recognized it. I was like, oh, I've been there. It's also a film which looks visually wondrous. Darius Khondji's cinematography is a real highlight. I really want to know what type of lens he used for certain shots, because there's certain scenes which feel a little bit concave, not to the point where it looks like a fisheye lens, but there's definitely a distortion of the image which kind of makes it feel like it's not part of reality. So yeah, there is a lot to praise about the film. Like, there's nuggets of gold scattered throughout this sprawling film. But the problem is, Iñárritu has a lot to say and he didn't know when to rein it in. Netflix gave him carte blanche to make whatever film he wanted, and the end product is just like one big self-congratulatory pat on the back for himself. I mean, it's not like he's being arrogant or anything, but there's definitely an air of, look at everything I've accomplished with my life. Shall we talk about its Oscars chances? I know a lot of us were expecting like Roma levels of nominations for Iñárritu. Like, Alfonso Cuarón got 4 nominations for Roma and ended up taking 2 for directing and cinematography. With Bardo, Iñárritu has the potential to match the same amount that Cuarón did, because he wrote, directed, produced, and edited Bardo. But honestly, I can't see him going home with any of those trophies. The script is too waffly, the editing is fine, but it's not everything everywhere all at once. Directing isn't out of the question, but because I can't see Bardo getting a Best Picture nomination, directing just seems very unlikely. If Mexico decide to go with Bardo as the submission for Best International Feature, and it seems very likely, it's Iñárritu, he's highly regarded, then it might get into International Feature, but it's not really Iñárritu's award, it's the country that wins it, but I can't even see it winning International Feature. I think Decision to Leave has a better shot at the moment. But it's still very early in the award season race. We've got so many more international films to be released. So let's ask them 3 questions. Firstly, would I watch this again? I really do enjoy watching Iñárritu's work multiple times, but I don't know if I could be bothered with Bardo. It's such a long, sluggish watch. Like, there's some good stuff in it, but not enough to justify giving 3 and a bit hours of my life to again. Question 2, do I recommend it for you guys? Oh, I don't know. Here's the thing, it's very long, but some of the stuff you watch is quite fascinating. And there are moments of great beauty and wonder sprinkled throughout the film. It's just they're quite few and far between. So if you do want to watch this, it's on Netflix. Give it a go there if you want, but it's not a film I would push on people to go see it if it was in the cinema. And third question, what score to give it out of 10? I'm glad Iñárritu got to make Bardo. Like, it's clearly something very personal to him. It just didn't fully click with me. Some good ideas, but it's just a bit too scattered. So I'm gonna give Bardo a score of 4.5 out of 10. But as always, guys, it's just one bloke's opinion. I want to hear from you. Have you seen Bardo? What do you make of it? Is it gonna get some Oscar nominations? Whatever you have to say about this movie, let me hear it in the comment section down below. If you have enjoyed this video, help me out by hitting that little thumbs up button. If you want more movie, TV, and Oscars related content, don't forget to click subscribe. And if you want to follow me on all my socials, for all my updates on Venice and Toronto, just follow me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, it's all there. Thanks so much for watching, guys. For more things related to movies, TV, the Oscars, and popcorn culture, I'm Luke Airfield, and I'll see you next time.